stood firm to grab just a second clean sheet of the campaign. It's a crucial one as well, but certainly a game of two halves. There's no doubt about that. Arsenal will claim the 3 points, and in the final reckoning, we might not linger too longer on the second half performance against Bournemouth here. Let's just remind ourselves that it's a hard-fought 3 points against the Bournemouth side that were well rested. They didn't play midweek, of course, and we retained one or two of our younger players in the starting lineup, and let's not forget, played on the Monday night as well. But having played the second half very well against Manchester United, the 90 minutes here, they've seen the Gunners pick up 3 points and just stretch that unbeaten run a little further now, with an 8th game without defeat. The only defeat of the season so far, of course, coming against Liverpool, and Arsenal have now won 5 of their last 6 in all competitions. Much more analysis and chat to come from Jeremy and from Joel. But Johnny's first up here, final score. Arsenal have beaten Bournemouth by a goal to nil.
Yeah, so welcome back to the Arsenal Nation Live studio, and I don't know whether the light is getting the sweat just dripping from my brow right now. That was a close one in the second half. We're back to full strength in the studio. Jeremy Aliadier is back in the studio with joining Joel Bayer as well. Now, yeah, we are pumping the air right now, but it was pretty tense, and we've actually got a tweet that kind of illustrates how I think most of us were feeling right now. Now it's to be worried time. Arsenal, Bournemouth. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of sweat dripping off that man's brow there, Key & Peele. But I think that kind of illustrates how we're all feeling, right? Pretty tense.
Yeah, ups and downs, man. That first half, you know, controlled the game so well. I was just so, you know, happy and relaxed and thought, oh, yeah, we've got this game. And then second half, we don't know if we didn't play as well as the first half, or if Bournemouth just, you know, upped the game and started really going for it. I'm not sure what it is.
But that's the thing. We're speaking about the second half. I mean, is this becoming a thing at the moment? It's a thing for Arsenal where our second half is just never as positive. I mean, we've got some tweets actually. Some of you guys talking about it at home. We've got one from Matt here. Say we always start the second half so slow. Dangerous way to start a half. Joseph Aku here saying Arsenal should have killed this game off in the first half against a passive Bournemouth. They've sprung to life in the second half now, not ruthless enough. And finally, A. Dot here saying not a good second half so far by Arsenal. I don't know why we come out so weak in the second half against clubs we should dominate. Same happened versus Villa. I'm going to come to you, Joel. Is this a thing now for Arsenal? Are we constantly, you know, going to maybe look quite good and impressive in the first half, but then come out in the second half with a meek performance?
Yeah, I mean, the Villa game was the opposite. We were poor the first half and we did good in the second half. I think the fans are just looking for one of those games like in the Europa League, you know, where we dominate from start to finish. And we haven't had that so far in the Premier League. I can't really remember having a game like that. Some of these things should be, you know, normal routine. When you see the top teams, when you see a Liverpool, a lot of their games, it's just routine. When you see a Man City, besides today, it's all routine. So I think that's all the fans want to see. They don't want to be sweating all the time. So, yeah, I think it's not a good sign so far.
And, I mean, the kind of stats on the side of the screen there should pretty much illustrate what we're talking about.
Wow.
This is a Bournemouth team. I mean, they're no jokes. We know that anyway. They're a decent outfit. But, I mean, this was nip and tuck. We got two shots on target in the whole 90 minutes there, and one of them was Luis's goal. Why do you think we struggled in the second half so much, Jeremy? What was it for you?
Just the intensity of the game. I think it's a mental issue where maybe they think the game's over, it's just too easy. I don't know, but you know, they've played so well in the first half, trying to go for it, creating chances, and then in the second half, it's not so much of try to keep a 1-0 advantage. It's just you're Arsenal, you're at home, go for just per second one, third one, and then we didn't create any chances in the second half. So it's, you know, it's disappointing, and I can't really put my finger on why this is happening, because it should not, you know. Team like Bournemouth today, we should just won that game 2-3-0 the way we've played the first half.
I think Martinelli tried to come in and change things around a little bit. You know, he's forcing. There was a bit of directness with him. So to be fair, he's probably the only one that I saw that was really going for it, you know.
Injecting that passion in the second half. You spoke about Martinelli. We actually have a tweet here talking about Martinelli. It's from Lee Godkin. Martinelli playing like he's still chasing that hat-trick.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, he came out like a man on a mission. Joel mentioned a bit there, but your views on Martinelli, Jeremy?
Yeah, no, exactly the same. You can see the difference in the attitude. You know, as soon as he gets the ball, he wants to go with power, with speed, which is what we like in. You know, some players just take the ball, take an extra touch, slow pace. No, you just want to get the ball and just go forward straight away if you can, you know, on your first touch, which obviously Martinelli brought on straight away. You know, on his first touch, you see the passion. Obviously, got a yellow card after, you know, a minute. That's just, you know, a bit too much a bit overexcited. But, you know, I'd rather that. So at least you see the guys coming on and wants to do everything, you know, extra in defensive work as well. So it's great to see. I wish we could see it more from everybody.
Yeah, he was an absolutely outstanding performer today when he came on. Really excited. But another one that grabbed my attention was Saka. Joel, talk to me about Saka's influence today.
Oh, man, honestly. Do you know what I like about him is I do believe there's still more to him in terms of being direct when he's got the ball running at defenders, because I know he's good at that. But I just love his first touch. I love the way he shields the ball and he keeps it. And because he's got such a low centre of gravity, I think the bigger guys really struggle, because if you touch him too much, he falls over and it's a free kick. But yet, when you give him the space, he's smart enough to control the ball. You can see him always trying to make the runs. He's always trying to make the runs. And I just see so much of a future in that young guy compared to a lot of the guys. I think he's a prospect.
I agree. I feel as well what I like about him at his age is getting to some difficult area of the pitch where there's no space, where he's got 2 or 3 defenders and still take the responsibility to take the ball and keep it. When a lot of, you know, young player will just think, oh God, a bit tight here, I'll just, you know, boot it or try to pass in one time. No, takes the responsibility to control it, physically hold the ball and you know, give a good pass. So it's really impressive.
Yeah, he looked very assured. Now, we mentioned before the game that if we were to win, we would move into 3rd place and be best of the rest, because obviously, you know, we're going to be miles off City and Liverpool. Let's just quickly check the results from today, all the full-time scores. Hold up, what's that? Wolves. Wolves have done City, have they? They've done them, have they? 2-0. Yes, that is right. At the Etihad, Wolves have put on a show and beaten Man City. Another irrelevant result there at the bottom. Chelsea have won 4-1 against Southampton. But let's just see what those results do to the table. Yes, best of the rest. Well, we're only 1 point behind Man City now, guys. So, dare I say it, if City are in it, so are Arsenal.
Yeah.
You're right.
Looking at that table, Joel, what do you think this will do for the atmosphere in the dressing room right now?
Well, it turns that C that I gave the team to a B-. Even though the producer said we're not doing no minuses.
I gave it a B, no?
Yeah, you gave it a B,
okay.
Yeah, B-. So closer to you, Jeremy. No, I think it's time to take advantage, because clearly there's wobbles with the other teams in the league, etc. So you have to take advantage, because even if you don't finish 2nd or, you know, 3rd, you end up in the top 4 position. And I really want to be coming back here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for Champions League night. So boys, do it for me at the very least. Come on, Arsenal.
Cool. Right, so I'm going to have to kind of start wrapping it up there. But, guys, before we do, can you both give me a 1-word kind of tagline for what you've seen today? Jeremy, we'll start with you.
I'd say disappointed a bit.
Ooh,
yeah.
It's a strong word.
I know, but I've been disappointed, you know. I'm kind of staying on that second half and I get,
OK, fair enough. The disappointing second half, that stuck with you. Fair enough. Joel, what are you going to hit me with?
Divided.
Divided?
Divided halves, not team. Divided halves.
OK, double D there. Yeah. Nice. OK, we'll end with that. Guys, make sure you tune in to our next Arsenal Nation, which will be after the international break at this point, on the 21st, and that will be Sheffield United. Apart from that, from me and the rest of the guys, thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye.